All right. Hello, everybody. It's Gabriel, and I'm here. Let me angle this a little better. I'm here in the woods, and today we're going to be talking about healthcare. And specifically, the most affordable type of healthcare, which is preventable care. So, you have a physical vessel here on Earth, and you can take care of it. So I'm going to talk about nutrition at the end. And one thing that your vessel needs is acidity in order to produce new cells. So your body produces acid through exercise, and in the process that exercise actually tightens up your muscles. So it's very helpful to be able to stretch and warm up. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I played a Frisbee tournament this past weekend, so I'm a little tight. And I also like to say I am not perfect at this. I have injured myself stretching in the past. And I definitely could in the future as well. So I would say always do what feels good. Don't hurt yourself. Yoga is way better. That's what my warm-up is based on. So there's a man named Russell Wallach who's my coach at UMass, and this warm-up is based in part on the warm-up I did with him at Ironside tryouts one year. And he's very knowledgeable, and he worked a lot with Tim Morrill. He's a very smart man as well. So I would say when you're warming up, take some time, connect with your breath, see what's tight for you. I'm just going to do like kind of a standard routine. Let me know what you think. So I would say a good one to start with, just some cat-cows. So I'm not really going to like talk through it the way a yoga instructor would. I'm just going to do it. And then you can learn more about this stuff on your own time. And then some extensions, opposite arm, opposite leg. So this is just warming up your core. Also your glutes, and your shoulders a little bit. And also just, giving your calves a little bit of a break. And practicing flexing your foot. You can kind of see if your ankle has any constraints on it. Another good one is just extending your leg straight back, flexing your glute. You can rotate your leg around, see what kind of a range of motion you get. And my hips are tight from the tournament, so that was a tough one for me. So once you do that, you should be feeling all right. Hopefully that all feels good. If it doesn't, don't do it. Another good one are glute bridges. And this is a big one at UMass, and I'm actually okay at these because I actually do some yoga. So hopefully you can see this. You just put your feet about shoulder width apart, raise your hips up. Yeah, I don't know how well you guys can see this. That's fine. I'll go sideways. Here we go. And activate your calves. That's a hint I got from you-know-who. And then, if this is, you want to activate your glutes, you can do one leg at a time. And then the next tier up is the table, where you just kind of press up. It's kind of like an inverted push-up. That's pretty hard. So, that's a good couple to start with because your glutes are like really important. So I'd highly recommend making sure you warm up your glutes and your core to begin with. Another one I also like to do is single leg deadlifts. So a deadlift is typically like a pull from the ground. So a single leg deadlift, same thing. You want to activate the glute on your back leg, try and extend it. You can just work on balance, but then you can also work on power. You can work on balance. That's a hard, not easy to do. And yeah, you can rotate one way or the other to get like your outer hamstrings or your inner hamstrings when you rotate towards the opposite leg, the leg that's don't have on the ground. So my left leg is a little tighter typically than my right leg. And yeah, I'm not really breathing the way you should be through this. Like, you should be exhaling. And yeah, single leg deadlifts, those will get the hamstrings going. You can do leg swings. I'm not the biggest fan of those. Another one I like to do is just kind of connect with my Asian squat a little bit. So you should be able to hold your weight in your heels from a standing position all the way down really to a position where your glutes have no weight in them at all. That takes some time to get these muscles, and it takes a lot of hip openers. So if you're not here yet, you don't have to do that. I would say if you do have the flexibility in your hips, bouncing up and down, leaning forward into your groin a little bit feels good. Twisting around feels good. And then yeah, just trying to get that strength and flexibility in your hips. Don't like pry them open, but it can help loosen them up a little bit. And then one more I like to do is a inversion off the first cat-cow, which is, well, I'll just do it in the regular part of the warm-up, I guess. Alright, so then that's kind of like a stationary bunch of exercises. You can do arm swings if you want. There's a lot of like arm ones, push-ups, planks, depending on what you're into. But let's just do the rest of my Frisbee warm-up. So I have a initiative kind of, or a coaching guidebook for Frisbee middle school coach, potentially a new one. And I haven't filmed any of the videos for it, but this could be the first one for the Massachusetts Flatball Association. So the warm-up I do typically is just straight yoga. It's those positions, then a dynamic exercise I'm going to do, and then a set number of more technical Frisbee movements that I'm not going to show you just yet. So the warm-up I do, it's typically bring your hands to your chest, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up again, and then you let your body hang, shake your arms out a little bit. Got some leaves up here for my glute bridges, let them hang. Inhale up, let your body hang again. If you want to do it a third time, you can. You can have your knees bent right now. Then put your hands down, step your feet back, push into a downward dog. So with my kids, I typically tell them, like, you can stretch your calves, stretch your hamstrings, just try and push your hips up. Walk your feet a little bit and just kind of hold it for a while. When I do yoga, like the instructor, a lot of times in the first downward dog, like, does it for like a long time. You can kind of rotate your body a little bit if you want more of your outer hamstrings. Then the one exercise I was alluding to is that I really like. You can do this as an individual exercise. If you have a team warm-up you like to do different than this, is just leg extensions. So activate your downward calf and keep pushing your hips up, and then bring it up as far as you want. And then step your foot up, stand up, reach up and to the same side you're pivoting on. Oh gosh. And then dip your back leg a few times. So you don't have to straighten your front leg. You should be able to straighten your back leg and push up a little bit. Then put your hands down. Now you can straighten your front leg if you want, just to kind of feel out your hamstrings and your hips. How's everything feeling? So I just played a tournament. My knee's a little bit tight on this side, but this feels pretty good. I think it's just the quad or maybe a bruise or something. And then one I like is the rotations. And you can do the other way. So this one gets your glute. And anytime you're rotating into your plant leg, you should feel your glute. If you can, like, yeah, just the more you rotate your core, the more you're gonna hit your glute. So then you do enough of those, and then I think that's it. I think you just step your feet back and repeat it on the other side. So then I would do the left side. Oh yeah. And if that all feels pretty good, you can get into a half pigeon if you want. This one's pretty tight for me. My glutes are a little bit tight from running so much. And yeah, that's typically enough for the middle schoolers I coach, because they're already pretty loose. And then we do some other stuff. I know on UMass we used to do a lot of just like this kind of a stretch. This gets your groin, and then you can stretch out your quad, just picking it up, leaning forward. And yeah, if you flex your glute while you're doing it, can get your upper quad. And yeah, flexing your glute while it's up there makes it hard to talk. So that last one, I was flexing my glute, and yeah, it was pretty hard. So that's like a good way to get your body ready for whatever exercise you're gonna do. Not a whole lot of upper body warm up in my routine. But I do some upper body stretches specifically for my forearms. And a good one for that is putting your forearm flat on something. I don't know if you guys can see this, but put your arm flat, forearm flat on the ground, and then you rotate your body up, and you should feel it. And the other one I do a lot of is the same thing, but inverting your forearm the other way. So there's another technique I'm not gonna go too heavily in depth on, but I think is valuable and worth talking about, which is rolling. So rolling is like getting a massage. you press the blood out of your muscles, and then you simulate blood flow into the muscle so your heart doesn't have to do as much work. So I'll go over a little bit of how to roll, not too much, and then we'll talk nutrition. I'm going to just check the time here. Okay, I got like 5 minutes. Okay, if you also want more stretching, you can use a band. One of my favorite band stretches is just that kind of hamstring. You do it on your back. You can also do it with a pull-up bar. You can do the quad stretch. And then if you are like really interested in getting that glute stretch, you can also get that on the pull-up bar. And then you can do a groin stretch on the pull-up bar where the band is hung up on your leg and you kind of rotate around. Sorry, one other really good one, let me just go through really quick, is it's a groin stretch. You put your hips like probably twice the width of your shoulders, and then spread your feet out and just move your hips around a little bit. You can rotate your body, and then you can sink back, straighten one of your legs out. It's really good for your groin. Okay, so when I roll, typically I do my lower back, sometimes my upper back too. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. I'll go sideways again. So I only have 5 minutes, so normally I go pretty slow, and I just kind of, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you just kind of roll over the muscle. Just stimulate a little blood flow. It shouldn't hurt, and it's not really going to change everything. It's going to be like getting a massage. And yeah, when I get to my legs, typically what I'll do is I'll go outside, shin, calf. My last one will be my upper inside calf, and then I'll go right into that upper inside hamstring. Then I'll do hamstring, glute, outside of my quad, top of my quad, inside of my quad, and my groin. And then I'll do a separate one just for the one glute or hip muscle that's like in between, like right below your obliques. Okay, I think that's everything I want to cover. So yeah, now I'll just talk a little bit about nutrition. So there's a guy from the Spear Being Alliance. He has a great nutrition video. Nick Polizzi, great stuff on nutrition. And then there's also some videos that I've already linked from Ari Witten's Energy Blueprint. I would say nutrition's kind of like a deep topic that I'm going to avoid talking about here, even though it's like critical to your health. I've talked a little bit about it, but I'm not going to go too in depth. I would say variety of food is very helpful. Certain foods are very helpful for detoxifying, and exercise is also helpful for that. And just be sensitive to what you're eating, I guess. You know, be sensitive to what you're putting in your body and how it makes you feel. And don't be afraid to mix it up as well. Like, variety is the spice of life. So I would say I'll throw some links for nutrition in the description. So yeah, there's that. I think the next video I'm gonna do is with the band. Because yeah, in order to be educated, you need to have that physical capacity to exercise your mind. And it helps a lot if you have functional vessel for that. So that's what these videos are about. as much as I want to help spread Ultimate Frisbee, I think there might not be enough time for that in the long run. So that's kind of like a warm-up routine. You can really do any kind of exercise you want that's creating that lactic acid in your body to help your body produce cells better. It also helps your circulatory system. There's like a million benefits of exercise and eating well. So education, for a good education, you need good health. You need to have a decent vessel. And yeah, I think I'll do at least one more episode about exercise routines. And then I'll get into, maybe I'll be ready to just talk about education at that point. Or who knows. Anyway, that's all I got. See you soon.